welcome to Retake. I'm Lisa Dwan here with Parker and Terrell Mackay, ready to talk about the latest in Rainbow Six Siege. And I got big news. Guess what?
What?
Someone followed me on Twitter, and it's huge. Interro Mom! Interro Mom! Your mom follows me on Twitter. I've made it, boys and girls and everyone. I finally made it.
I thought it was going to be somebody like Bolo or Pengu. I didn't think it was going to be my own mother.
No,
but
your mom is more important than those two.
If you followed her back, be prepared for boomer memes, because that's exactly what you're going to get.
I'm excited. I'm going to give her a follow. I just wanted to give her a shout out though. I see you and I appreciate it. But let's talk about this episode. What should everyone expect?
Well, in this episode, we've selected some of the hottest plays of the week. We're going to have an in-depth interview with Canada's own and Team Vitality's own assistant coach, Helby. And then we're going to be taking a nice deep dive into Bride since he joined BDS this season.
That's right. A lot of good stuff. But first, there's something in Rainbow Six Siege that I'm still very confused about.
What's that?
It's the rules between ranked and actual competitive. Like, it gets really confusing. So I think now's the time for us to break it all down in this Explained.
And there's one spotted inside.
Surely he will. Oh, he's already
do all the rest of the work. He hears the shot through the barricade.
He only needs to land a single bullet, and he must know that at this point. He gets to do a click on gate.
If you're an aspiring Siege player looking to make it big in the world of esports, you'll have to work hard for it. When you think you're ready to make the leap from ranked to the esports scene, learning what sets the pro settings apart from ranked is critical to your success. Here are the key differences between competitive and ranked to help you take your first steps. In pro play, operators are revealed to the entire lobby before the round starts, unlike in ranked where they are hidden. Pro players can swap out one of their current ops for a new one without the other team knowing during the reveal phase. Additionally, there is sixth pick, which allows you to conceal a sixth picked operator that your opponent won't be able to see. Sixth pick lets you adapt on the fly, but your opponent has access to it as well. However, with your picks being shown, it means that your entire strategy could be exposed to your opponents before the round even starts. It's a lot harder to show off those cheeky strategies when your opponents can see what you're bringing. In ranked, matches are first of 4 rounds, or the first of 5 if the match goes into overtime. Matches are 12 rounds in Rainbow Six Esports with 6 rounds before the side swap. Depending on the region, pro matches will either draw or go into overtime if there's a tie after 12 rounds. Points are handy in ranked to determine if you've downed a player or destroyed equipment with an operator like Thatcher. However, in pro play, points are turned off. This means you'll have to trust your game sense more when making decisions mid-round. No more having points pop up and giving the information away, you have to work for it. Players new to competitive may also find the esports map pool a little bit easier to handle than in ranked. Ranked features a total of 12 maps in the current season, while competitive play is reduced to just 7. In pro play, it's Clubhouse, Coastline, Villa, Theme Park, Oregon, Consulate, and Cafe Dostoevsky. Meanwhile, in ranked, you have those 7 plus Bank, Chalet, Border, Outback, and Canal. A smaller map pool in pro play lets you and your team practice on fewer maps. This gets you more familiarized with the layouts, callouts, and flow of those 7 maps without having to overwork yourself. As well, it lets your IGL, that stands for in-game leader, focus on more strats on fewer maps. Knowing enough about the game to understand your IGL's calls is only going to make things easier on everybody. Map knowledge is just as vital to your team's success as being able to frag out for them. So having fewer maps means that you'll be experts on the ones that you do play. If you ever want to try competitive rule sets, set up a custom lobby game with some friends. This lets you get a feel for the nuances that set competitive apart firsthand. Scrimming against other high-skill players in custom games is how pros learn. Now that you know the rules, it's time to get to work. There's a whole new wave of Rainbow Six talent out there. With the esports scene growing year by year, you could be one of them.
Surely he will. Oh, he's already
do all the rest of the work. He hears the shot through the barricade.
He only needs to land a single bullet, and he must know that at this point. He gets to do a click on.
Interesting. I definitely learned some things from that. But for you, I'm curious is there any rules from either ranked or competitive that you would like to see in the other format?
Yeah, actually, one from each. One, in ranked, there's no sixth pick or reveal phase. Awesome. Bring that to competitive play, please. Sixth pick is cool and all, but the strategic depth that you get from it is lost on new viewers. It's confusing. Get rid of it. In ranked, I would love to see points get turned off. So in competitive play, if you shoot somebody through a wall, there's nothing that pops up that says injure plus 50. You don't have any point notifiers. It forces you to have to pay attention. I think that's a good thing.
Okay, Ubisoft, you heard it.
Call me.
Speaking of game modes though, have you been able to play the new one, Attrition?
I have actually. It's really interesting, I think is the word I would use.
That slight pause.
Well, I was trying to think of a good way of putting it because it's something that we haven't done before. Like it is such a radical departure, and I think they're trying to do this with all the events, right? They had the one, the Grand Larceny, where you could just shoot through the floors and it was all shotguns and it was full destruction. I thought that was cool as heck. I think Attrition's neat. I don't like the idea of locking operators, but for a special game mode, sure, why not?
Because can you imagine if this was actually implemented in like competitive? It would force players to not just be a one trick or a three trick. You know, like they would have to diversify the operators they play, which could be very interesting as a spectator or audience member. Maybe not so much for pros.
I mean, it could be. For me, it would make my job interesting, but I think from like a casual perspective, I've already experienced this playing it. Is it's like you'll have somebody pick like Kali and Thatcher, and then nobody picks a hard breacher, and if you win the round, you have no Kali and Thatcher for the next round, and you're screwed.
Yeah.
So you're asking an awful lot of the player base to try and strategize ahead of time, and I think that's a pretty big
ask. And the support staff too. Like the coaches would have to think really far ahead. But I feel like right now maybe it's not the time with the amount of operators, but down the line when there's like 100, like in other games, like League, when there's characters, there's like over 100.
They want 100. We'll see if we get there.
You don't want 100 operators?
We'll see. I mean, they're slowing down to 1 per season now, right? So it's going to take a while. I'm at the point where I like new content, but I'd like to see them tinker with some of the old ones first.
All right.
Because there's too many operators that there's no reason to play them right now, and you need to be able to play them.
That's fair, that's fair. We're thinking way down the line there. But let's keep talking about competitive because we got Team Vitality's assistant coach, Helvy, on the line to share some more insight. Hey, Helvy, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. Just to confirm, since you're French, is it Helvy or Helvy?
I just pronounce it the English way, but it stems from the letter L and B, which are my initials, so
wow.
Really have a way to say it. It's just whatever feels.
I'm so glad to be able to talk to you because I feel like you are in a very interesting position where you have been a pro player, but now are coaching. So what is it like? What's the transition like from going from pro player to coach?
Well, when I made the transition, the coaching position was not, I think it was at its beginning. The only real coach I think in the scene was really Shaz. So there was a lot of trying to do what he was doing, trying to understand his ways, but it's also, as a player, I think I understood the reality of a player and tried to just put a more analytical level on it and then just move from there. But it's been a learning experience. I don't really have a background in coaching before. I think I have a degree in business administration, so it's a lot of learning, but I think like being a player allowed me to maybe have a little hedge over people there.
Also for you, you've actually played like in NA, but now you're coaching a European team, so you've experienced both regions. I wanted to know, is there really a big difference between the regions and like how they play the game?
Historically, there's always been. I think in the first couple of years, I mean, there was like clearly an EU dominance when it comes to the play style. The last Invitational maybe shook that a little bit, but generally speaking, EU and NA were really close. I found this season to be pretty interesting because it seems that there's like a major difference between NA and EU, like other regions too, but NA EU historically used to be somewhat close, and right now it seems like NA is all about planting diffusers, setups, and so on, while EU is more of aggressive, trying to play refrag, try to force number advantage in every gunfight and move from there. So it's a shame we don't have any LAN event soon, because I would really love to see
how they fare.
EU play against NA and which mentality or which approach prevail.
Yeah, you guys are really building it from basically the bottom up. You know, you bring up new IGL, Fabian, of course. When he announced that he was joining Vitality, everyone was talking about it, and even the roster itself has a lot of, you know, veterans. Like Goga's another one that's, you know, huge in the scene. When you're coaching a team with such, you know, big names, lots of experience, is there a different approach to it?
Well, I mean, they won a lot of tournaments, That's for sure. It's a lot of experience, but at the end of the day, we're all like learning the game together. I've been in the scene ever since the beta came out. So, sorry, even the alpha before the beta. So, like, we all know how the game is played, how it should be played in our mind. But like, what works with them is they're willing to listen to anyone. It's not like they don't come in the team thinking like, oh, I won 2 major, 2 invitational, we're the best, we know exactly how it goes. They're open for discussion. If anything, it just makes the discussion more interesting because they have opinion, point of view, experience, which can clash with other opinion with the main coach, Laurie, and myself, and other players who have not necessarily won as much as them, but it's just everyone is open and willing to listen.
So let's talk about the team and like future steps. What are your goals for this season?
Well, the playoffs are still within reach, so I haven't done the math because this is not what we focus on. We just focus 1 game at a time. But if we win, and I don't know if it relies entirely on us winning or if we need some teams to perform poorly. But it's still within reach, so we take it 1 game at a time. Try to make it to the top 4, and we'll go from there.
We gotta let you go now because we're out of time, but I really appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much, and best of luck to the team in the future.
Thank you, that was super fun. Thanks for having me.
With all 4 regions in full swing, we've got plenty of plays for this week's 6-pack. First up, we've got something that's sure to warm veteran players' hearts. Bandit's MP7 is a beast of a gun, so we won't blame you if you've forgotten his other primary. The N870 is the GSG 9 shotgun, but was more often found in the hands of 5 rushing recruits way back when. Voy from Tempera brought back some of the old M870 magic against G2 on Vila.
Some really nifty and unconventional setups on Coastline from Tempera. I said last time we saw Tempera play on other maps that I want to see them sort of break that mold of the normal meta and set up differently the way that they've done on Coastline. That's why we see Coastline banned against them so much. Talking about unconventional, what is in the hands of Voy?
3 going in 3 master right now, and Voy is holding close.
Voy has no idea the default plan is going off. Surely he hears it. He's going to have to swing and stop.
Boys?
He does. He'll get
Boys?
1. He'll get 2. Oh my god, he'll get 3. The shotgun pays dividends.
NJR has quickly proven himself as one of NA's best braggers. Up against SSG in the losers bracket, NJR drops 21 kills on Clubhouse, 5 of them coming from this sweet ace.
For DG seems to be C4 or grenade from below, open up the wall, deny the bandit tricking, and JR will get rampy, but Canadian will eliminate Nyx. That's your Montaigne gone. Thinking nade downed by, you guessed it, a nade from below. And he will possibly be revived, as obviously there are no point notifiers for the attack.
This is a duel to the death from Bosco and Reed as a toxic canister goes down, or it's actually Retro, mind you. NJR punishing at the opening. Ooh. 4 kills for him. He collects the down. Fultz now next in line of sight. NJR only needs 1 to complete them all. Lots of damage done from Fultz onto Retro. He'll get stunned from NJR, the positioning given away. Fultz rotates around towards the top of red, but it's NJR with the ace.
LATAM R6 has finally kicked off their season, and the competition has been fierce. W7M's Padrin got the promotion to Doc, while up against Furia on Cafe. Trapped behind pillars, he took the MP5 and just started lighting up Furia.
Cautiously. They haven't lost a player that was repelling either, which is certainly going to be better, but unfortunately, talk of the devil, there he is. Bursts up, overthrown by Padrin the Padawan as he strikes. He had the high ground and it paid off for him. Actually build off the back of this. He was holding on the angle. I thought that would have been a second frag for free, but he still wins out on the fight. Fred's dead. Oh, not the third. The peak from Padrin, who just keeps going. Padrin the Punisher. Someone needs to put this man to bed, Tim. He's a naughty boy.
At this point, is it even a 6-pack without some sweet Fnatic clutch action? Lusty with another clutch, but this time he had backup. Mentalist played the perfect bodyguard as they faced all 5 members of Q Confirm in a site retake.
To use a lot of utility right there, as I believe that's 5 or 6 throwables. Oh, there we go. Another one got picked up right there. Like Colas just walks in somehow, though, manages to get into the actual spot. have to get that plan down. And the question is someone a Fnatic ready? It doesn't seem like it being the case, as it's only a Lusty and Mentalist up now. Plant gone down, it's a 2-on-5 after plant, and 40 seconds left on the clock. There's only little that Fnatic can do from here on. They started up perfectly though, picking up 2 kills, having that vertical control to potentially work with. But if they wanted to jump out, it's going to be Hajime that's ready, Producer Boom that is in ruins as well. So there's a lot of angles being covered off right here, and I'm not sure if Fnatic is going to be able to eventually clear them all, as Mentalist is taking some damage from 2 sides. Some dead bodies being shot, but with the 14-second mark coming soon, they need to start defusing now, otherwise it's over. Actually, Mentalist able to pick up 1 huge kill right there. It's another one to come in. There's plenty of time for this to go through if they manage to stick it. Is it going through? Yes, it does. How do you stick it? A 2-on-5 clutch right here from Fnatic. Lusty just sticking it through, getting shot but running out of ammo with the Type 89, or no, actually with the R4C right there. The Ash swapping over to the pistol, but being too late.
Giants Gaming kept the good times going in their final match of APAC Phase 1. Trapped in a 2v4 on Cafe, Ysera saw what Tempera's boy was up to in our first clip and wanted in. He pulled out Mute's Shoddy and started blasting.
Means that Cloud9 right now have the opportunity to push through, and they definitely will push through as they pick up a couple of kills, but one somehow forgets to check out on this bathroom area right here, and Ysera with the shotgun coming in huge. His massive members up in the white stairs, gets yet another kill, and he needs to find one more. He's in an absolute slaughter. Ysera just pulling out the M59. They didn't check the corner. He managed to get 4 kills out of that one, and Giants pick up their round. Cloud9, where you at?
Foxay is one of the best Canadians in the scene, and he's not afraid to prove it. Down 4 rounds against TSM, Oxygen needed to get gassed up. And what better way than with the Foxay 4K?
He can hold this pretty soundly, or peek like that and die.
Yeah, it was a bit of an overcommitment, and he got greedy. I don't know if he was aware that Foxay was that close, but if you don't have that information, you don't necessarily need to play off of it. Merc has been given away at the top of white stairs, and Foxay, with 2 kills of his own, is doing excellent work. He'll protect Bio as the diffuser goes down and toss out a frag grenade for some area denial. Vertical watching over from inside of Attic means that, well, you're going to have to swing and win, which is exactly what Chala does. We'll now be in a 1v2 post-plant. Oxygen's best opportunity to take a round will come with the diffuser down, and a defuse being attempted. The Sledge trying to do some work, Foxay running out of time, Chala with only a second left, but there you go.
That's it for this week's 6-pack. Expect more amazing plays next week as we get deeper into Phase 2 of NA and APAC.
BDS has come out of the gates swinging in the EU League and proven themselves as the newest kings of Europe. It wasn't smooth sailing getting there, though. The team stormed through the 6 invitational qualifiers and surprised fans with a 4th place finish at SI. Despite coming in hot after SI, BDS couldn't scrape things together in the second half of Pro League Season 11. The French squad got slapped around, finishing last in Europe with only 4 wins and dodging relegation only due to the new EU League format. After dropping RXWD from the squad in May, BDS snagged Brede off the market only 2 weeks before the start of the new EU League. Brede has been a member of Supremacy and then Vitality for years before he hit the open market in June. Vitality had so-so results outside of France, at one point being relegated and then fighting their way back into Pro League. The French veteran found a new home with BDS, quickly becoming the hottest player on the hottest team in Europe right now. Since picking up Brede, BDS has only dropped 1 single map in the EU League, and it gives them good enough for first in Europe. But how good has Brede been through the first 3 weeks of play? Let's dive a little deeper into the French Phenom's stat sheet. Brede's cost, remember, stands for kills, objectives, survives, and trades, was just bonkers for the first 4 games. At one point, he had a 92% average. 100 is perfect. Since then, he slid to 79%, which is still good enough to be tied for first in EU with his teammate Rafael. He's the top player in Europe for KD with a plus 26, currently 8 kills ahead of second place in the region. Worldwide, Brede is 6th overall for KD across EU, NA, and Asia Pacific. He sits behind the likes of Giant Gaming's Hysterics in APAC, Hyper from Dark Zero in North America, and NJR from Disrupt, also in North America. Brede also holds the top rating in all of Europe with a 1.38. One of the most impressive things looking at Brede is that he's shining brightly on a roster filled with stars. Shaiko and Rafal are mainstays of the BDS squad, yet Bride has been the one who cemented himself on the team. Overall, he's outperforming everybody on BDS by a Paris country mile. Or would we call that a kilometer? Bride leads in rating, KD, kills per round, as well as rounds survived. And he's doing all of this despite being a hard support player. He's fragging out from a role that doesn't usually do that, while being tied for the most diffusers planted in Europe. Bride left Vitality for a new challenge, and he certainly found one with this BDS team. He's breaking all the rules for a support player with relative ease. BDS has struggled with a lack of consistency in the months since the 6 Invitational, but with Bride, the team has seemingly hit its stride. He appears to be the final piece to BDS's puzzle. Bride has the perfect amount of firepower and solid objective play to round out a team chock full of absolute gunners. And the sky's the limit for BDS right now. For now, BDS are Europe's brand new super team, but the French squad will have to work hard to stay that way.
Of course, the community is probably one of the best in esports at memeing. The community is very close, I see on the subreddit, so we got a lot to show you. For the very first post, we actually have a tweet from Easily where he actually exposes his fellow teammate, J90. Let's take a look at this tweet. So he tweeted out, J90 has a rat cage elevating his monitor to have room for his keyboard, while some people buy 4K setups to be hard stuck in gold. Ooh!
I feel like that is a direct attack on me.
Is it? Why?
Because I am pretty close to hard stuck gold. I'm in plat, but still definitely
Struggling?
stuck there. And it's like, yeah, my setup is, I got 3 monitors. To be fair, I need that for broadcasting and streaming.
Oh, for your work. Yes.
For my work. All right, we love our memes. This post was posted by Bullwolf or Bullywolf. I'm sorry,
Wolf.
Bullywolf. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name. These kinds of things are tough. Anyway, it talks about the changes to the Rainbow Six Pro League subreddit over the last year. So let's take a look at it. On the left-hand side, it says R6 Pro League last season, and it's the buff dog meme that says, blank RXWD, he's the worst player to ever touch this game. And then on the other side it says R6 Pro League now, which is the sad small dog meme that says, no, SiegeGG, you can't just point out that our God Emperor Fabian had a bad game. If you don't show up in a game and you have a bad performance, then you need to be held accountable for that. SiegeGG has an obligation to try to push content that has people interact with the most.
Dingleberry Man, we saw you on the subreddit, okay? Let's read this comment. If you were like me and a sucker for well-produced, informative content about Rainbow Six, you definitely need to check out this show. It is what I like to watch while on the toilet, and that is about the highest praise I can give it.
2 episodes in, for the record. This is number 3. And we've got the very important toilet demographic on our side at this point already.
So make sure to follow us on our socials at WatchRetake. We're on Instagram. We have YouTube, okay, Twitter, and other things, but I won't mention it now. But you know what? Follow it, and we'll see you guys next time.